Why do empaths fear the criticism of other empaths the most? Hi, my name is Leah Chantel. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going into why intuitive empathic people are afraid of the criticism of other intuitive empathic people, and why we have to let go of caring and detach from what other people think about us. So the reason why intuitive empathic people are so frightened about what other people in their community are saying or thinking about them, it's because they don't believe what they're teaching actually has value. It doesn't serve people, it doesn't build up people's lives. And the reason why they think that way, it's because they haven't discovered the true needs of their audience or their true way of serving in life yet. Now I add yet, because you can learn this. So when we're insecure and we don't think we have anything of value to say, it's because we haven't really connected with our audience yet and discovered that it's really about them and serving them. And when we don't know who our audience is and we haven't figured out how to serve them yet, we believe what we have to teach is not helpful. And that can be anything. You could have spent a huge amount of money getting an MBA. You could have taken all the online business courses that everybody says is popular and useful. But if you haven't found your audience and your niche group of people that you're meant to serve, you can have your confidence shaken a little bit, and you're a little bit more vulnerable to the criticism of other people in your peer group because maybe they've found their audience and their niche and they're feeling quite confident, and they may not be a fully developed empath, though. They may be somewhat of a dark empath, and they see you as competition, and so therefore they're going to tear you down. They're going to criticize you. A dark empath is somebody who has something hateful to say in spite of their empathic ability. You know, they do exist out there. They're not extremely common. I would say they're fairly rare, but they do exist. And when you encounter one, it can be a very confusing experience. I had an experience of challenges encountering my first dark empath when I was in my late 20s. And this thankfully happened in a very private setting. I'm very grateful that I wasn't on social media yet when I was going through this experience. But when I was younger, I really had somebody come after me and question my whole spiritual development. I'd been meditating since I was 15, and I'd become a vegetarian when I was 18, and really worked and devoted my life to meditation and spirituality for a long time. And then this person came after me, and I didn't exactly quit everything, but I took a long time to take a break at that point from my spiritual groups and my spiritual practices because I felt that it wasn't real anymore. The person who was so mean, I just felt like the whole experience and everything that I'd learned was fake. It wasn't real, because what's the point if people in the group are learning all these spiritual tools and they're still gossiping and backbiting? The way that I figured, it was just not the real truth. It was not really serving people or really helping people. So I went through a real period of questioning whether these spiritual tools actually worked and if it was the real thing. And it was good that I went through that questioning, because now it's very much helping me with my social media business now, because if others come along and question me, you know, I've already been through it. I went through it at a much more vulnerable stage in my life when I was a lot younger and more scared of being vulnerable with the world and sharing my message. And when it happened in a private setting, it made me reflect on what I truly believed, what was truly going to help people. And I think one of the keys at figuring out how you can serve and really help people so you don't feel like you're useless and you're just spewing content out there that nobody's paying attention to is that you need to get to know your audience and what resonates with them. If you find a way to serve your audience and it changes all the time, maybe an intuitive 10 years ago was really good about sharing information about angels or whatever they were sharing information about. 10 years later, that information is no longer resonating or helping the audience. They have to find something else that resonates or helps the audience. And then they get scared that they can't continually be of service to that audience, right? And so the important thing is you always have to stay connected with the people you're serving and find ways of helping them. If you have service on your mind and you truly want to help people, you're not going to go wrong, because you're going to be able to improve their lives constructively, and that's real, regardless of whatever you teach. And you can feel like you're useless even when you have the most practical knowledge in the world. If you know everything about online business, for example, but you haven't found an audience who's hungry to consume your content, you can feel like that online business knowledge is completely useless. However, that might be some of the most useful knowledge that's out there, but you just haven't found that audience who's hungry and who really needs that knowledge, right? And it's the same with spirituality, intuition, empathy. When you're teaching those tools to other people, you have to find your audience in the specific way you can help them. And when you discover the specific way you can help, you're going to feel better about what you're teaching. It's not just a random abstract thing that was helpful to you at a certain point in your life. It's something that helps more people in the phases of their life that they're in now. And then you can feel good about sharing your message with others. It took me a while, and I went through many phases of study and evolution in my spiritual journey. I learned early on about meditation and different forms of diet, and then later on I evolved to learn more about psychic ability and mediumship and how helpful those are as true forms of talent that help you evolve and feel more confident about your ability to teach and help people. Now where I'm at is evaluating relationships and really helping people with intuitive empathic abilities develop happy, healthy relationships, because I've noticed that even spiritual teachers at the top of their game, multiples of them, have had horrendous divorces later in life. It seems like that's a universal challenge that everybody's going through, even when you have true abilities and you're really able to serve and help people. There's this struggle with relationships, and that's what I realized, that's the niche that I need to teach. And why is it we're struggling with relationships? One of the reasons is because some intuitive people are what I call dark empaths, and I'm not accusing any spiritual teacher at all of being a dark empath. I mean, it's possible there could be some. Really what dark empaths are people who say the right thing, like they say they believe in intuition and angels or whatever they believe in, but they actually don't act with integrity, if that makes sense. So that could be a spiritual author, and I'm not saying this is a specific person or anything like that. It's just a hypothetical example. But let's say, for example, there's a spiritual author who's at an event and they're tearing another spiritual author down. They're talking behind their back. Or maybe it's one of the students gossiping about their teacher or whatever happened to them last week. Are they the real deal? So when empathic people are gossiping or tearing each other down or saying negative things and they know better, they shouldn't be doing that, then that's the definition of a dark empath. So they do exist, they're out there. They're pretty rare. Having said that, I encountered one in my late 20s, which really put me in a tailspin. It was really surprising because I saw them behave in a way that was full of integrity and kindness and empathy in front of certain people, and then they'd tear other people down behind closed doors. So it took me a while to process and understand what was going on there. I wondered if I had learned the right spiritual tools, if I was really on the right path, if these things actually work. And it was good to reflect on that, because then I could take forward the jewels and the things that were really the most helpful to intuitive empathic people and present them in a form of my content online. My goal is to really help people in relationships achieve their highest form of relationship and have a beautiful life, not just teach spiritual topics online. As spiritual people, we deserve to have a fully developed and amazing life, and we deserve to have amazing relationships. We shouldn't just be trying to aim for the success of our students. It's very important, and we want to be authentic and make sure we're actually helping and serving people, but there needs to be space for us to be successful and to have amazing lives as well. We need to have space to have happiness in our personal relationships, and if we don't have that, then it's very difficult to be a good role model for the students, because if we're not happy, how can we promise that they're going to be happy, right? And so that's my little discussion about how intuitive empaths can feel more useful and confident in the world and believe in their message. Really, the key is service and having space and room for you to develop your own happy life on a personal level as well. If you have both of these and you live with integrity, you're not gossiping, you're not tearing people down behind their backs, you're not doing the wrong thing, then you're going to be very successful as an intuitive empathic author. I hope you enjoyed my lesson this week about why intuitive empathic people are scared of being torn down by others. And the key is you need to learn to detach and not care and have confidence that what you're teaching adds value to people's lives. And if you're confident and you know that you're going to add value to other people's lives, then there's nothing to be scared of. Nobody tearing you down is really going to hurt your feelings because you already know that you're helping people and serving people. And so what's one person's criticism or telling you that you're wrong when you're helping so many others? I hope that makes sense and you're having an amazing week. Take care. Bye now.